Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Empower Your Soul. I am so excited to tell this story today. And I don't really like story episodes, but mainly because I'm not sure if you all like it. I know I'm not supposed to say that, but I would much rather teach you, but there's so much to the story that I think is teaching. So I figured it would be a really good one to record because this Saturday blew my freaking mind. I got played by a departed grandmother, and I had no idea how much she had gone through to make happen what happened that day. And I think it's such a beautiful story of how spirit works their magic in every moment of every day. And this continues to be the lesson that my team is teaching me on everything is spirit. We are not physical beings in the middle of a spiritual world. We are spiritual beings in the middle of a physical world. And I know that sounds weird, but it is completely true in that the more that I trust and surrender to spirit, the more that magic happens. And so I think this is a beautiful story. And it was an honor and a privilege. And to be honest with you, fucking mind blowing to go through this on Saturday with my family. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about this story here. And so I'm going to try. I did bring in the departed grandmother to help me with this story today, the departed abuela. I'm not sure how she wants me to, abuela, she said, wants me to pronounce her name or how wants me to address her. But I want to start you at the beginning of the day. So the beginning of the day, we had spent the day, I took my son to a Revolutionary War reenactment. As you can imagine, not necessarily my favorite thing, mainly because I live in New England. These things happen all the time. Like every year they do the Battle of Lexington and Concord, the shot heard around the world. So there's always these Revolutionary War things that are going on in New England. I've grown up doing them. They're a snooze fest to me. But my 11-year-old son is absolutely obsessed with them. And so whenever this reenactment comes around every year, he insists that we go. So I agree. I take him to this place and we watch this reenactment, which is filled with swarms of people, just to level set. It is a 75-degree day, which with the humidity and with the lack of clouds and with the lack of wind, felt like it was 95. So it was a very hot day. I am baking in the sun and we are watching people fake kill themselves. And at some point I joke, I'm like, if I were ever a part of reenactment, I swear to God, I would just be the first one shot and I would lay down in the shade of a tree. That's exactly what I would do. But no, these people love what they do. But it was really cool. My son loved it. He has this wooden fake musket thing that he's chomping around. Like he loves it. He absolutely loves it. So the battle is done. And if you could see how many people are there, you would have ran to your car like I did because I was not going to wait in this one lane road to get out of here. So we book it to the car. We get in the car and we are out of there. Now, mind you, probably should have stopped to use the restroom on the way out. There's no way I was doing that. Porta potties, no thank you. Sorry, I am that type of a snob. It's mainly just porta potties though. We were hot, we were sweaty, we needed drinks, we needed ice cream. So on the way home, we stopped at a local general store that has everything because it's a cute little New England general store. So we stopped there, get out of the car, walk in the door, and I look over to my right and I see the checkout area of the store. And across the way, I see this older gentleman. So 75, 80-year-old, adorable man. I love old men. Don't judge me. He was across at the register with a few items in front of him ready to pay, but the cashier was nowhere to be found. So I kind of lock eyes with him and I just start making a joke. And I'm like, oh, it's just you, huh? Do you want me to check you out? Right. And he starts laughing and he says, but give me a deal. Yeah, sure. But give me a deal. And so I make a joke. I'm like, I'll give you $2 for all that stuff. He says, that's a great deal. And we just kind of laugh it off. And then the cashier comes running around the corner and I keep on walking. Follow my son through the store, pick out our ice cream, use the bathroom, find some Tabasco I was looking for, which is like one less stop I have to make somewhere else. And so we take all of our goodies and we go to the counter, and that man is now at the counter again. Turns out he wasn't just buying a couple of small things, he was buying a bunch of scratch tickets. And if you've worked in one of those convenience stores, you know, there are people that just buy all the scratch tickets over and over again. He would be a TikTok millionaire if this old man did it. I will say that. So he ends up buying some more lottery tickets, and then he scurries away and starts scratching them in the corner. And so before he scurries away, I'm like, hey, big spender, hey, how much did you win so far? And he's just like, just a few bucks, $5, $10 here and there. And then I say, hey, wait a second. I would love to buy some scratch ticket. You've inspired me. Which one should I pick? Because I don't know. I don't buy scratch tickets. And he said, how much are you spending? And I said, I don't know. I'll get $20. I'll spend $20 worth. And so he comes back to the register and he's squinting at these rolls of the scratch tickets. And he's like, in his mind, he's figuring out which ones he's scratched, which ones have won, which one hasn't won. And so he finally says, I think you should get the Monopoly ones. Get 2 Monopoly ones back to back. And then he tells me his strategy. He said sometimes they win back to back. I say, fantastic. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. So great to meet you. Hop in the car. I'm on my way, right? We get home and my 11-year-old son is so freaking excited to scratch tickets because I never ever buy them. Never mind like these big honkin' $10 scratch tickets. They're huge, right? Like they're the size of a book cover, these scratch tickets. And so my son has eagerly found a quarter, starts scratching the shit out of this little scratch ticket. And then he's like, hey mom, we won. And I'm smiling. I'm like, oh, that's great, bud. And then he's scratching. Hey, we won $5. No, wait, 10. Oh, mom, we won $15. So I come over and I take a look at the ticket. It's way more than $15. So I'm like counting up. He counted one of each number that popped up, but there were multiple of the winning numbers that had popped up. So I added up. I look at the code on the scratch ticket and it says 50. We won $50. Cool, great. Like I'm like, oh, that's pretty awesome. My son literally thinks we won the jackpot. He's just like, oh my God, $50. Like he's so excited that we won on the scratch ticket. And in my head, I'm kind of smirking and I'm like, oh man, I wish I scratched it there. And I would have split the winnings with this old man because he was so cute and sweet. But ultimately awesome. I won $50. That's great. So I kind of go about my day. And then a few hours later, my daughter is having a sleepover with her best friend. I go to drop off of her bag of, pillows and clothes and toothbrush, etc. after the birthday party that she went to. And I showed up late because we didn't want the other girls at the birthday party to get jealous that my daughter was sleeping over her friend's house. And by the way, her mom is my friend. So this is my friend's house. Our daughters are friends. So if I say my friend, that'll be the mom. And so we show up late. I drop the things off and the parents are already taking down all the decorations, bringing things in the house. They offered me some cake and some cupcakes and pizza, which was great. And so we're all cleaning up together. I want to be helpful. And her daughter is looking through her mountain of toys that she got, and she can't find one of her Laboo Boo dolls. If you know, these are the latest hot item for young girls. They're creepy as heck, but they're essentially like a stuffed animal that's, I don't know, probably about 8 inches tall, 10 inches tall, and it's fuzzy and it has a plastic face that has a creepy face. One of her favorite Laboo Boo dolls is missing. The birthday girl, has a massive meltdown. She just starts crying. And so we sent out a search party. I start picking up and looking by the pool area. My daughter is looking in the house to see if maybe the dog had grabbed it. And then the mom walks her around the yard to say maybe the dog brought it, around the yard somewhere, right? So I'm looking everywhere. The birthday girl and her mom are looking everywhere. My daughter's looking everywhere. And so after about 30 minutes, we just kind of like shrugged and like, we can't find it anywhere. And I know when I got there, I saw it. I remember seeing it. I could see it in my head. I remember seeing it. So I know it's around. And I'm just like, hey, it's fine. I pull my daughter aside. I'm like, hey, I can't stay much longer. Just let her know that sometimes things just show up. Don't worry about it. Sometimes spirit finds a way to bring it to you. Not a big deal. And so my daughter's like, oh yeah. And she tells this story about how she went to go see How to Train a Dragon at the local movie theater. And she brought her blue dragon that is from, the printers, the 3D printers. They're so cool, these little dragons. So she brings the 3D blue printed dragon to the theater. She forgot it in the theater. We had called the theater a couple times to see if they'd found it. No one had found it. And I said, it's fine. It'll probably show up somewhere. Don't worry about it. 2 days later, this blue plastic dragon is sitting on her bed, right? There's no way, wasn't me, wasn't my husband, wasn't my son. It just showed up out of nowhere sitting on her bed, okay? This is what I'm talking about. So in her mind, she's like, spirit is magical, which I fucking love. And she's like, it will show up because my blue dragon showed up 2 days after I went to the movie theater when it was definitely lost at the movie theater. And so she's convinced her friend that spirit will bring it. Don't worry about it, right? And so I wrap up. I say bye to my daughter. I wish the birthday girl good luck. She's still in tears at this point, finding the doll. And I'm like, I'm sure it'll show up. Don't worry about it. Needless to say, I start to drive home. And this is where it gets a little wild. In my head, I start chuckling because I'm just like, I really don't want to go. I'm exhausted. I've already told you we've been to this Revolutionary War reenactment. I have not been hydrated. I am generally just not feeling good. I am slugging it to just do the final stretch and get home and cook dinner and just sit on my butt the rest of the night. So everything in my body, including my intuition, said, go home. But for shits and giggles, of course, I asked spirit in my head, should I go grab it for her? Because there's a local store that is open for another 30 minutes. Should I go get her a Laboo Boo doll? And even though internally my intuition said no, in my head, I heard a very loud and clear, yes, you should. And I have to tell you, those 3 words were so abrupt and so loud in my head. It was not at all what I was expecting. I knew that the energy was not my guides. I knew certainly it wasn't me. It wasn't my intuition. And so I almost had to be like, who is that? so I start, at that point, I start like opening up and reaching out psychically to see who on earth just told me I should go buy this damn doll for the birthday girl. And true to form, I see this Cheshire Cat smile. You know, when the first Cheshire Cat shows up, like out of the blackness, I just see this Cheshire Cat smile. And then she sent me her energy, and I knew exactly who it was. It was this departed abuela, this departed grandmother of my friend that I had read literally a year earlier for 10 minutes at a group demonstration. So this loud, loving voice of this grandmother, which by the way, like she gets what she wants, right? This is the energy of this grandmother. She wanted me to go buy these dolls for her granddaughter, her great granddaughter, so that she wouldn't cry on her birthday. So mind you, like it's wild. I hear her and I'm laughing and my guides are laughing. And this grandmother is so persistent and her energy is like, you're going. So I was just like, fine, I will go. I will go. So I drive downtown, I park, I go in. She literally walks me to where the Laboo Boo is. She's like, turn left here. And then there they are, all stacked up next to the register. And so I'm looking at the dolls. And they have all these different types. I'm looking for the one that she's missing. I can't really find it. But something tells me to buy this rainbow box. And I look at them and there's a whole bunch of them there. So I can't just show up. I can't just show up with one for the birthday girl, right? I have to get one for my daughter too. She was already asking me for one and I'm like, ugh. So I go and I grab 2 of them. And what's really weird is this has nothing to do with the story, but when I picked up one of them, my hand was like buzzing and I was like, that is really weird. I could feel the energy of this one and felt like, oh, whatever this one is, it's a good one. I don't know what that means, but I just grabbed them both, paid for them. And I drove back to her house and I'm texting her mom on the way. Voice to text, not physically texting. Do not do that. Voice to text my friend. And I'm like, hey, I forgot to drop something off for my daughter. I'm just going to pop in the driveway, beep the horn. Can you send them out when you hear the beeping? And she's like, yeah, absolutely. So drive across town again, get to the driveway, beep the horn. And both the girls walk out of the house. Now, mind you, like now They've been fed. They're in their pajamas. They're much more stable energy. The birthday girl's not crying anymore. And she comes around and she says, "Hey, what did you forget?" Because my daughter has this like look on her face like I was about to get like yell at her or something. I don't know what her face, but she knew something was up. And so I'm like, "Hang on, you forgot this." And I turn around and I grab the Laboo Boo dolls and I hand them to each of them, the two boxes to each of them. And I'm like, "Here you go. I didn't want you to be sad on your birthday." And then my daughter's face lit up and then her friend's face lit up and they were just like, "Oh my God, that's so amazing." What, they're so excited. They're like giddy and giggling. And I'm like, "That's it. You can go in the house." And so they're like on cloud nine, running and skipping back into the house. And, I feel the pat on my back from her grandmother. And I'm like, "Okay, that's great." So on the way home, my friend texts me and she's like, "Oh my God, you didn't need to do that. It was way too much." She had plenty of other toys. It's not a big deal. We found it anyway. It's not a big deal. You shouldn't have done it. And literally right after I received that text from my friend, I was listening to Macklemore and the song Sorry came right on the radio at that point. Thanks, grandmother. She apologized to me for getting in trouble. And so I got home and I thought about it because to be honest with you, I felt really weird about buying these dolls because as a mom and as my intuition said, she didn't need them. She didn't need them. My mom said, my mom's spidey senses were like, she doesn't need it. I didn't need to buy it. I'm just spoiling these kids. I agree with everything my friend said. I didn't have to do that. It was too much, 100%. So internally, I have this mom guilt going on. But externally, I know that I have served spirit and I did what her departed grandmother or great grandmother of the birthday girl wanted me to do. And so I started texting her back and I was like, "Hey, I know that you know what I do. And honestly, I really didn't want to do it either. I had no intention of buying these dolls. It is not what I wanted to do after this long day. But to be completely honest with you, your grandmother told me I needed to go do this. So I just listened to her and did it." And then she sends me back like a little crying emoji. And she's like, "I believe you. It really sounds like her." And so in that moment, what came out of my thumbs typing was, you know what? She probably had something to do with the lottery ticket I won this morning and paid for it. But that was like literally, it just came out of my thumbs, out of my mind, and I hit send. And then I sat there and I thought about it. Didn't even think about that text. That was not my thought pattern. That was spirit coming through me, taking over my thumbs. I know that's weird. And sending that text because then I sat and thought about it. Because when you put two and two together, I never, ever played the lottery. And I won $50 that day. The cost of the ticket was $10. I netted $40 from that ticket. The dolls cost $20 each. The $40 that I netted. So this dang grandmother from the spirit world figured out how to get me to buy a gift for her great granddaughter and fronted the money to pay for it. And I know that sounds fucking wild, but in my bones, I know that to be true, that she made sure that I got the $40 to buy the gift. How do I know that? As if that story is not wild enough about how this grandmother got me to buy a lottery ticket. Not even me. I didn't even pick out the lottery ticket. I asked the old man to pick out the lottery ticket, right? This is how fucking wild spirit works, is because it wasn't even me. I was just not dumb enough. I was the person who said, "Hey, why don't you pick it out for me?" And then spirit worked through him to pick out the winning lottery ticket that I got so that I could go to the store and pick out those two dolls that cost me exactly my profit from a scratch ticket, right? How wild is that this grandmother worked her magic through all of this, okay? But if that is not wild enough, earlier this week, I had an amazing checkup with with a fabulous client of mine, Pam. Hey, Pam, if you're listening. She recently sold her house and came into this large, unexpected nest egg. And it needs to get her through retirement, to be all honest with you. But Pam is this loving, amazing soul that wants to give everything to everybody. And she completely admitted in our reading that she could see herself giving away all of the money from this house sale to others who need it. Her, her family, her friends, like charities, right? Like all these different people who would need it. And Spirit was like, whoa, 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 time out. That nest egg is for you. You need to stay comfortable in retirement. And so we want you to safeguard that money for you. And if you want to give the money, write it in your will, leave it to them, but take care of you first. It was like put on your own life jacket first before you help others. And Spirit like blessed her with that and said, it's okay to keep that money. That's for you. But then Spirit said, listen to this. If you want to help other people with some of these altruistic endeavors that you do, Spirit said they will find you the money and you will know what to do with it. And you bet your ass this departed abuela was fucking listening to that conversation and taking notes, because that's exactly what she did. She found the money. She got the money to me, and she told me exactly what to do with that money. Right? And so can you even believe it? Because I think this is the reality of the magic. So besides, hang on, I'm going to go like 6 directions at once here. Number 1, this was fucking wild, and I never would have been able to put all of these pieces together if they did not happen in such close proximity with each other. If I didn't get the $50 that day, I would have never tied it to getting this doll on the same day, right? And I would have never tied it to the reading that I had earlier this week when I was like, oh yeah, shit, she did pay for it. Wait a second, I just heard that from Spirit the other day. And so this is what I'm talking about, the magic of Spirit like spinning this web and weaving this web so that everything comes into alignment with each other. And so that's number 1, is like, holy shit, how amazing and powerful and all-knowing Spirit is. And we're out here like wondering if they see us, right? We're wondering if that bird is grandmother. Grandma's got better things to do. She's finding me $50 to go buy a doll, right? I think we minimize the potential of what Spirit can do and will do for us to let us know they are around and loved, and that you are loved by them. So that's like revelation number 1. Revelation number 2 is this is a huge lesson for me. I consistently feel like Spirit is external to myself, which is why I purposely tapped in to see, should I buy this? And I was waiting for a response because my intuition said no. I was waiting for an external response to myself, which I received. And so in my mind, I was always taught Spirit is external. I need to reach out. Spirit is not a part of me. Spirit is external to me. I have to set the intention to connect in. That's literally how we teach psychic and mediumship too. It is external to you. And so the fact that even though that was the one moment of the day that I tapped into Spirit, Spirit was leading me the entire day and I had no idea. I had no fucking idea, because if I didn't go to that store at that exact same time, I wouldn't have seen this man. I wouldn't have bought this lottery ticket. I wouldn't have been prompted to buy the lottery ticket if he wasn't in front of me scratching it off at the counter, right? I wouldn't have bought that ticket if I didn't feel the need to be a little sassy with him and kind with him while I walked in and saw him waiting for the cashier, right? I wouldn't have tapped in with Spirit if someone didn't accidentally take the Laboo Boo doll home from the party, right? So I want you to think about all of this shit that needed to happen, all of the chess pieces that needed to be moved in order for this story to come into fruition, because there are no freaking accidents. If we think that we are out here living free will and making all of these different decisions every day and there are our own choices, I got to tell you, that's some bullshit right there. I think there are free will choices, but how amazing is it that spirit knows our next 10 steps, whether or not they want to tell us is a whole other problem. And so it was just amazing for me to realize that literally everything I do is guided by spirit. Everything I do. And so the more that I can get out of this house, get out of this room, get off my tuchus, right? The more that spirit has the opportunity to work through me and show me the magic that exists within me. And I don't need to externally tap into them because they're already there all the time working through me and leading me in ways that I never thought were connected. And so spirit isn't external, it is internal. It is the thoughts, it's the patterns, it's these urges, these moments where I let my true self out, where I joke with the guy at the counter, where I give him a little sass and I'm like, hey, why don't you buy it, right? Where I let spirit lead. And when I let spirit lead, they take the wheel and they lead me and drive me wonderful places. I would love to be chauffeured, spirit. Let's go, right? Like, please. I realize it's not very empowering, but I trust you. Spirit can take the wheel. And so I want to invite you to think about all the magic that is intertwined in each other, in itself, in your life, right? What had to show up for magic to appear in your life, right? Maybe, I don't know. We all hear the crazy stories. I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull out a really good example for all of you, but I want you to think about the magic that happens in your life and how many steps it took to get there, to find the right person, to take the right class, to lead you the right way, to find the house, right? Like I can tell you when I purchased the house I'm sitting in today, it was the end of a day where we had looked at like 10 or 12 open houses. And we arrived at this house and I was like, this is it. This is it. I was exhausted, but I was like, this is our house, right? And it was just this inner knowing. So follow that inner knowing. Follow that truth. Follow that spark of wisdom, or that feeling of that doll, which by the way, apparently was the special limited edition version of the doll. It was the one that was not on the back, right? Follow these little sparks of intuition or energy and let it lead you and see if it's magical and see where it takes you. And I think this is my lesson from this story, is not only the connectedness, not only the magic, but how much I don't need to set the intention to work with spirit, because spirit is working through me every minute of every day. And that I just need to trust and believe and sometimes let it happen. Otherwise, my dang brain is going to get in the way. So there you have it. There is my crazy ass Saturday with a departed grandmother essentially treating me like a marionette doll. Very skillfully. And what a wonderful, wonderful story of how a departed great grandmother was able to buy her great granddaughter a birthday present for her 9th birthday. You can't make this shit up, folks. You can't make this shit up. All right. I'm sending you all the love. I hope you enjoyed the story, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Take care.